Welcome back to Conversations with Yvonne. Today we'll be talking about one of the most exciting and sometimes most stressful, right? Stressful part of the real estate journey, which is moving. Whether you're relocating across town or across country, having the right team make all the difference. I'm joined today by Mary, who's with Neighbor Moving and Relocation. Did I say that correctly?
That's right. Yep. Neighbors Relocation.
Okay, so she's a true expert in helping families and professionals and retirees make smooth transition into their new homes. From packing tips to relocation logistics, she's here to share the insider scoop on how to make your next move a whole lot easier. So welcome, Mary.
Thank you.
Thank you for being with us today. So we're just going to jump right into it. I know that when I was moving from my home, the question is, do I do it myself or do I hire somebody to do this for me? If someone was looking to move, what are some things they should consider when moving and trying to choose a moving company?
Well, the most important thing, of course, is to do your research and do as much research as you can and try and have as much time and preparation as possible. And sometimes that's not always possible. Sometimes things happen and you got to do it literally like the next day, which we can and have done. But yeah, really doing your research and making sure that you're working with a real legitimate company. There's a lot of fly-by-night moving companies out there. There's a lot of people who are moving brokers. And that is a situation that you probably don't want to be in just because you lose a lot of your control with that. So if you are looking for a moving company, I recommend, of course, us, and we're happy to help anytime. But do your research. There are, make sure that the company you're working with has a DOT, Department of Transportation number. You can look that up online. Look at the company, make sure that they have a legitimate website. A lot of these places will have a very limited website, and some of them are operating out of, when you look at the address, it's literally like an apartment building. So make sure you're working with somebody who is a real legit mover. They have they're licensed, bonded, insured. They don't just hire people that they pick up off the side of the street. All of those sort of things can happen. And if you work with someone who is a moving broker, what a moving broker does, and there are good moving brokers out there, they're not all terrible. But what a moving broker does is they come out, see what you've got, and they'll sell your move to a moving company, and you don't know who that is. I mean, they don't necessarily work with they don't work with a company like us because we don't work with brokers, but you don't know who those people are. And so you'll sign all this paperwork with the broker. You don't know who's coming to your house the next day, and maybe they're not. I had a call a while ago from somebody literally at 5:00 in the evening who had a move scheduled that day, and their mover didn't show up. And it's because they had gone through a broker and they needed to be out of their home literally by the next day by the terms of their real estate contract. And they were understandably in a panic because their 3,000 square foot home that was supposed to have been moved, the guys were supposed to show up at 7, 8 a.m. just never showed up. So that kind of horror story does happen, and it can definitely be avoided.
Yes. Well, one, I didn't know you just taught me something. I didn't realize that there was moving brokers out there. So,
and a lot of times you'll realize they're a broker because they'll present to you option that really is too good to be true. I mean, moving is expensive.
yes.
And if somebody's telling you they can get a crew out to your house and it's only going to cost a few $100s, it's probably not right.
Good to know. So hopefully somebody will pick up on that because I did not know that was a thing.
Yes.
I did not know.
Yeah.
And so when they come to your, like if a moving broker come to your house, because I think that's why they could get away with it is their website looks good.
Yeah.
They, appear to be nice.
Yeah.
When they come, what are they? Any other indicators that we should look for to show us that they're
look for the fact that they have their own crews and trucks and they have a Washington or a U.S. Department of Transportation number. I mean, that's something that is. I mean, the moving industry is hugely regulated, as you can imagine. So any legitimate company is going to have that.
Okay, so they're going to have their own trucks, their own movers, and they're licensed with the Department of Transportation.
Yes, exactly, and that's very easy to verify online. Yeah, you kind of can't get around it. So
that is good to know.
Yeah.
So, because again, this is all new to me.
Yeah.
How far in advance should someone be contacting a mover?
Well, obviously, as much, advance time as we can have, the better, just because that gives us more time to get you on the schedule. I mean, if you are moving cross country, we are agents of North American Van Lines. We have to get you on that North American Van Line schedule. So I think in the height of summer, we need at least 2 weeks to get you
Oh,
on that schedule.
mhm.
But the more time, the better.
Okay. But the minimum is 2 weeks, at
Yes.
least 2 weeks
At
notice.
least
Okay.
at least 2 weeks notice, just because they put their schedules out. Those trucks are moving all over the
Mhm.
place to get you, to North Carolina or Florida or wherever you need to go. Yeah,
Okay. So we're talking from state to state. Do you guys do local moves as well?
absolutely. Yep. Local moves, again, as much advance warning as possible, just so we
Mhm.
can, get the right crew out there. And it can cost a little bit more if you're doing it on a weekend, but we can definitely do a local move. And often we do them next day. Stuff does come up, and we can schedule that. So
Sometimes people are moving, but they don't need to be to X until a certain date, or they need someplace to store things. How does that work, or do you even provide that type of service?
we absolutely do. We have storage services in Tukwila. We have a giant warehouse. It's climate controlled. Everything is crated. So it kind of looks like Indiana Jones. You know what I mean? Like all the wooden box crate, but it's secure. So you're welcome to use our storage. We have people who use it, for a really short amount of time. If say their house is closing a certain date, they can't get into the new house for another week. We can
Mhm.
do short-term storage. We have people who have had their stuff in storage for years, literally
Really?
like 5+ years and then some. So it just depends. If you have a local storage that you're using, we can
Mhm.
certainly move your things to local storage, and we can also recommend local storage, that we work with.
So, kind of share a little bit about that when someone calls you and because they're looking at selling their home or they need to move their things. Can you kind of walk through the process of what's going to happen and what to expect?
So the first process is to call somebody like me, and I will get some basic information from you. What's your ideal move date? What are your address you're going to and from? And then what I'll do is get a hold of my estimator, have my estimator contact you directly, or schedule a time for him to come to your home, or set up a time for him to do it virtually with you. If you're unable to be there, we can certainly do it over like a FaceTime or a Zoom app and just walk them through the house. Of course, it's better for him to actually be on site and see everything, because that's,
Yes.
sometimes stuff gets overlooked. You're like, oh yeah, I forgot I had that closet. So the estimator is really great about going through literally everything. So he'll have a little iPad with him, and he'll type in your inventory on his iPad. From there, get an idea of how long he thinks it'll take. A local move is billed by hours. So if he thinks it's going to take 8 hours, 6 hours, 15 hours, he can tell you a good estimate at the end of his estimate. If you're going long distance, if you're going anything over 55 miles in the state of Washington, it's going to be billed by weight. So he's going to type all of that into his iPad, and it's going to give him a weight. So maybe it's a 5,000 pound move, maybe it's a 30,000 pound move. It just depends on how everything pans out. And at that time, at the estimate, he can talk to you about if you're going to be packing. If you're going to be packing things yourself, we're going to be packing for you. He can estimate how long he thinks it's going to take a crew, what's the most efficient way for them to box everything up and get it to your next location. We can also just provide you with the packing materials if that's what you need. One of the things we do, as you know, Yvonne, for our real estate clients, is when the estimator comes out, he brings sort of a little gift package of boxes with him. It's sort of what we call is like a realtor starter kit. And
Hmm.
it's about a $60 value of some boxes and some packing paper and some tape just to get you started. If you need more boxes, we can certainly provide them, or we can give you ideas of other places to get them, Home
Hmm.
Depot, wherever, Lowe's, things like that. We also frequently have boxes in our warehouse that are gently used. And if you have the time to come pick them up, we're more than willing to give them to you. So that way, you don't have to spend so much money on packing materials. We can help you out with it. And if you
Nice.
decide, you want us to do a full pack for you, we can certainly do that. All of our guys are fully trained and skilled in that. We do a lot of military moves, and military moves are required to have someone else pack for them and do the inventory. So they know how to pack literally everything, and they do a great job of it. And at the end of the day, if you're like, I'm going to pack all of this stuff, and then, as you know, moving and packing is exhausting. You'd be like, I can't do this anymore. We'll come out and finish the job for you. So that's not a problem at all. Or if you're like, yeah, I don't want to, I want to have everybody, get it packed for me, and you end up doing a little bit more, obviously we're not going to charge you for stuff that you've done. So
Yeah, when we packed, I thought I had packed everything.
Yeah.
And then I had little things out, and then they just packed those. I was like, oh, okay. I didn't expect, you know what I'm saying? It was like,
Yeah.
I'm thinking I did good. And
Yeah.
then they're like, no, let's,
Yeah.
we can pack even more.
Oh yeah. Yep. They're super efficient and they're really great about, getting everything on the truck. It's kind of like a Tetris, this goes here, the heavier stuff on the bottom to get it in there as efficiently as possible. So,
Now, will they also label the
oh
rooms?
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's good to know.
Yeah. Label and inventory. And like I said, for those military moves, they have to, or also like international moves. Those also have to be packed by movers, which we actually do a lot of international moves, if you can believe it. They're very experienced at inventory. Yep.
Oh, good. I know when I packed it myself, call myself being helpful, saw something on TikTok or I can't remember Facebook or something where they indicated to put colored tape on each box to indicate
Uh-huh.
which room, and then you had to have
Uh-huh.
a chart to
Uh-huh.
say
Of
which
what's what.
room you
Yeah.
right. But if they do that already, why did I call myself helping, but they didn't need it. I just overthought the process. So that's really good to know that that is part of the service.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you don't have to worry about that. Can you kind of share what is the difference between like a DIY move and hiring a professional?
It's just a lot of work and a lot of stress, as you know, and it can be a lot more time consuming than you think.
Yes.
So we can take all of that off of your plate and do it for you so you don't have to worry about it, because you're still going to be your time is your money, right? So if you're spending
Hmm.
days packing, and somebody else can do it for you, who is it's actually their job to do it, you know,
Hmm.
they can knock it out a lot faster and a lot more efficiently than you can a lot of times.
Yeah.
You think you're packing something really carefully, like a lamp or china or whatever. These guys do it all day, every day. They know
Yeah.
exactly how to do it. I mean, that said, like, things can happen, things can, get damaged or broken, but we really
Mhm.
have a pretty strong track record of, doing it as efficiently and as good as possible.
Now you mentioned, there could be an accident.
Hmm.
So how do you ensure protection for the move or, especially valuable items and stuff? If something happened,
Yeah.
do you have some type of insurance on the product so that, how
So
does that work?
we don't have insurance per se. We have something called valuation, which you can purchase higher valuation, because what it comes down to in moving is your items are valued by weight. What you're going to get back for it, God forbid it's damaged, is going to be much less than what you actually paid for it, probably, because they'll say your computer only weighed 20 pounds or whatever.
Ah,
The value on the dollar is very low on that, unless
mhm.
you purchase extra valuation, which you can do. That is also expensive, but we're happy to talk to you about that process. What we like to recommend is going through a separate insurance. There are companies that offer moving day insurance, and that,
Mhm.
if you have something particularly valued, is a much better option to go through, and we can guide you through that process. A lot of times people will have moving insurance on their homeowner's policy that they're not
Mhm.
aware of, that they can tap into as well. And I
Oh.
would recommend that more. If you have something that's particularly valuable, like a piece of art or statuary or something,
Mhm.
we can definitely help out with crating. A lot, that's a frequent thing that happens, especially for like long distance moves.
Mhm.
And we'll send somebody out to create a crate for your piece of art that's specific to that, and make sure that it gets there safely.
All these little things that you don't even think about
Yeah.
until
Yep.
it's time to move. What tips would you have for someone who is downsizing, especially retirees or moving into a smaller space? What recommendations would you have for someone going through that?
Obviously, I would say to try to downsize as much as possible before you make your move. You don't want these items that you can't fit into your new space going with you. We can also help with that. We oftentimes, when we're doing a move, we'll take certain items to the dump or a recycling center. We also do this really great thing. We're partnered with a program through North American Van Lines called Move for Hunger. And so that
Mm,
that will, if you have like items from your pantry, that you're like, oh my gosh, this is going to cost even more to like move all of this food that
right,
doesn't make
right.
any sense. We'll take care of that and take it to the local food bank for you, and then it
Oh,
will
that's
go
good to
to
know.
a home that it needs to go to. Yeah, just downsizing as much as possible. And
Hmm.
we, in a local move especially, we can make multiple stops. We're before we go to the house, we're going to go to the dump, we're going to go to the reuse store and get rid of all of this stuff, so you don't have to worry about it.
Good to know that you guys have other companies or organizations that you can donate to? The cost of moving food, right?
Exactly. Yeah, you're like, I haven't. I've got all this extra. I mean, I know I shop at Costco, so my pantry's always full. But do you want to spend the money to like move all of that? And you're like, you don't want to think about cooking for a while after you're getting into your new place. So yeah, we have a sister company in the Portland area, and they like won the Move for Hunger for moving the most food into the food banks last year. And so we're in competition with them to try and get that up. So we let all of our clients know about it, and they can set aside a little, a couple of bags or whatever they want to get rid of, and we'll make sure that it finds a good home.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I'll keep that in mind too.
Yeah.
See if I can help you guys out.
Thank you. Yeah.
You're welcome. What are some of the biggest mistakes people make when they're planning a move?
Well, I think, like I said earlier, the biggest mistake is probably just not doing quite enough research. Get several quotes from several different people. Don't just like trust the first person you talk to. It's always a good idea to have a backup idea. That way you can get a good idea of what it is actually going to cost you. And if you have somebody who's saying, yeah, I can do this for $500, and you're like, oh, yeah, that sounds great. But realistically, it's not great.
Yeah, too good to be true, like you said.
Yeah, and you want to hire somebody who's also legitimate. You don't want someone coming into your home, who you wouldn't, trust. All of our movers they're like family to us. A lot of them have been with us for in excess of 10 years, if you can believe it. They're all of the guys and girls. We've got several ladies who work for us too. Are all fully background checked, so that they've passed a 5-year background check, so they don't have any felonies or issues, because you don't know who it is.
Is there anything I haven't asked that you think, someone would want to know?
I think you've been pretty thorough. I mean, it's a pretty, moving is moving. It's definitely up there with one of the things people hate the most in life, right? It's generally not fun, but we try to make it as painless as possible. And, if you can avoid, it's going to be stressful in some way. If you can try and alleviate some of that, we'd love to help.
And we would love for you to help.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy, call me anytime if you ever have any questions. And a lot of times I don't have the answer, but I can certainly find it. So our estimators are terrific. They've been doing this for in excess of 10 years. They really, in that time, have moved anything and everything. We can also help with moving cars across country, pretty much whatever you need, we can do it.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mary. So before we wrap up, let's have a little fun.
Okay.
A quick round of rapid fire questions. So just say the first thing that comes to mind. Are you ready?
I think.
It's okay. Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Dog person or cat person?
Oh, I got both. Can I say both?
Nope.
No.
Dog or cat?
I guess cat.
Cat.
I love my dogs too, but
I'm sure the feelings won't be hurt.
Maybe.
Book in hand or audiobook?
Audiobook.
Audiobook.
I mean, I used to be such a reader, but now it's just so much easier to, just listen.
I like to touch the pages, and I remember where I left off, where audiobook, sometimes I fog out and then have to replay something. So the books seem to work better for me. Let's see here. Sunrise or sunset?
Sunrise.
Tacos or pizza?
Pizza.
Comedy or drama?
Comedy.
Okay, well, that was a lot of fun, Mary. So thank you again so much for sharing your time, your expertise, and a few laughs with us today. It's been a pleasure having you conversate with Ivonne. That's me. And to everyone watching, share this episode with someone who's planning a move or just loves a good conversation. See you next time.
Thanks, Ivonne.
You're welcome. Bye.